everyone, I'm back. So what I'm going to show you today is another one of my favorite recipe. It is called a fish with coconut milk. And maybe for Indians you would call this a fish curry, but this is my fish with coconut milk. Okay, so what am I going to use? Right in front of me is the wok. So this is our wok. The size of this wok is 5 quarts or 4.7 liters. So I love this wok and I use it for a lot of things. So first of all, just forget to make it look like a wok. We have the handles attached now. So I use this for fried rice. I use this for any soups that I make. Now in this case, any stir fries, definitely noodles. Okay, I love to use this for noodles, and also like for anything that I would like to have with a bit of sauce. This is what I actually use. So this is one of those things that I use almost every other day. Okay, every other day. So this is very good in the sense that it doesn't have a thick base. Whenever you use this for cooking, it's very easy. It heats up really fast. Another thing I want to show you quickly with this wok is you can also use this, this electric skillet that we have. I use this for pizzas and lasagna. If you have a wok at home, you may actually use this as the dome cover for your electric skillet. So now, what do you think can you do with this? You can roast a whole chicken. You can roast a big, a good size of lamb here. And whenever you're roasting, that would take about an hour or 2 hours or more if you want it really gentle, soft. So this will become very hot. So for you to don't waste this heat, what you can do is you can actually put another cookware on top of this. So because the heat transfer between the two cookware is very efficient, the reason being Salad Master cookware has the same thickness on the base and the sides. So the heat transfer between two cookwares is about just 2 degrees difference. So why waste the energy when you can actually use it for your cooking another dish? So this can be, frozen vegetables. This can be rice. I don't know, whatever you want to use it for. Or eggs. You can be using this for boiling it. All right. So that's just for those who don't know how you can roast a big amount of meat. You can use this again as the lid for your dome cover for your electric skillet. Okay, so let's begin. So what's the ingredients? Now I have here frozen barramundi. Okay. Now this is one of those recipes that I really like because you can cook from frozen to finish. Most of the traditional way of cooking this is first make sure that this is soft, and then you can put a lot of vegetables. But here I don't have to make that soft. I'll just put the whole thing in. Okay. So barramundi. You can see this, tomatoes, onions, ginger. Ginger is what's important, and some of this. This is optional. It's up to you if you want to add some chili. And my son gave me a really big size pumpkin, so now I'm using that for this fish. You may also add beans, long beans, if you have some at home. So just chuck in whatever you feel like in these vegetables, in this dish. Okay, so how do we start? Well, I'm going to use the Salad Master machine again. So put this here. So this is the cooking. The Salad Master cooking is very, I like it because you don't have to become a chef to be able to cook this. This is what you call dump method. Put everything in. There's no oil, by the way. Okay, so I'm not putting oil in this wok. Okay, so what do I have to do? I want to slice some onions. So you must be wondering, can I use oil? Of course you can use oil, but it's a personal preference. If you want to put a bit of oil, stir fry all of this, that's perfectly fine. What I'm just showing you is the quick one. Not many people out there love cooking, but if I can inspire you to cook simple dishes like this, I'm sure you will enjoy cooking from now on. So let's begin. So I'll start with cutting the onions. This is the slicer. This is cone number 4. Okay. So the flat side against the plastic, and then there you go. So you have wow, look at that. 1, 2. So this is what they say, no more tears. But sometimes the juice, when it goes straight into your eyes, you will definitely cry. So I want lots of onions in this one. Okay. Now let's have some ginger. So cone number 2. Cone number 2 is a streamer. So no need to peel the ginger, just give it a really good wash. That should be enough. Okay, there you go. So you can see. Now, if you want the ginger to be really fine, let me show you. Use the smallest cone, cone number 1. There you go. So slowly, gently, and there. Okay. After that, we'll cut some of these tomatoes. So I'm going to use cone number 3 for the tomatoes. So the tomatoes has to be nice and firm. And then, you can see how it's nicely cut. So when you make pasta sauces, this is what you're going to use. There you go. So that should be okay. Okay. And then, so you have all the things there. Okay. Then put the fish. Okay. Then put this. Wow, how easy is that? And then cut some of these. There you go. According to your taste, shall I put one, or maybe just one? One is enough. Then put some of this coconut cream or coconut milk. So 1 cup. Yes, there you go. Very, very, very easy. So if you want a bit more of if you don't want this to go to waste, you can put the whole thing in according to your taste. So for now, I'll just put the whole can of coconut milk. All right, there you go. Then you can add a bit of paprika to have a bit of color also in this one, or you may also put turmeric. Okay. Then don't forget, we need some salt because this doesn't have any flavor. Okay, when you add some liquid, you need to add some salt. Definitely. Okay, so this is about 1 teaspoon. There's 1 teaspoon of salt. And that's it. Okay, let me just quickly. There you go. So the fish is actually frozen, right? As I said, I like the fact that you can cook in Salad Master from frozen to finish. Okay, so that's the end of our, cooking, preparing this. So what I'll do is put the lid on. Sorry. Put it on here. And let's set the heat to medium. Okay, so that's on medium heat, right? Now, how do you know how long are you going to cook this? Well, actually, not long. When you listen to the click, this has to tap. After it taps, we're going to cook this on low flame for 5 minutes. Okay? And then we'll see what's going to happen. Okay, so I can see. Okay, so I heard this tapping sound already. Now, all you need to do is don't resist. You have to resist the urge of opening the lid. Okay? So all I have to do now is just reduce the heat. for this tapping sound to stop. Okay? And then this is when I'm going to time it for 5 minutes. Okay? So 5 minutes, because you have the frozen fish there, I think 5 minutes should be enough. Or, you know, if you think that 5 minutes is too long, you can reduce the heat to 3 minutes. Okay? Time it for 3 minutes. Okay, so again, I hope after this I'm gonna plate it. So this is very good to serve with rice. Okay, with just plain rice. Okay, and also for those of you who, because sometimes fish can tend to crumble after, you know, after if you cook a lot. Now, don't cook too much. Just cook what is appropriate or good for your family. One fish would be enough also if you're by yourself at home. But the good thing here is whatever vegetables you have there in your fridge that you don't know what to use or do, you can put it in this fish. So you have pumpkin, you can add beans, okay? You may also add frozen peas if you want a bit of color there, okay? Or even capsicum. So whatever you feel like, just use your imagination. Cooking is all about your imagination. You have to cook from the heart, okay? I'm not really used to measuring everything, but if you cook with your heart and then feel what you're doing, your food will taste so nice. Okay, so we'll see after 3 minutes, this should be ready to eat. Okay, so our 5 minutes is up. Let's have a look at our dish. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Let me see first. How's the fish? Is the fish cooked? Yes, it is cooked. Yeah, it's cooked. And our pumpkin is definitely cooked. Now what I have here, because I was looking at my fridge and I have some leftover kale and what do you call that? Kale and baby spinach. So I decided, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I decided to put this in the curry. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have now is nice. Okay, you have the beautiful green colors in your curry. Everything is cooked same time. Okay. The good thing about this is I don't really have to cook this for a long time. Just let it go under all the leaves under the coconut milk, and then you have a nice healthy coconut fish with coconut milk. There you go.